There was once a young man named David who always believed that life would somehow work out for him. He had dreams, big dreams, just like everyone else, but he never took any step toward them. His mornings began late, his afternoons were wasted in endless distractions, and his nights slipped away scrolling through meaningless things. Whenever someone reminded him about time, he would smile and say, "I'll do it tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. David's father was an old man who had worked hard all his life. He used to say, "Son, time is the most precious treasure you will ever have. Once it's gone, no wealth, no power, no prayers can bring it back." But David never listened. He thought he had endless days ahead of him. He believed that opportunities would knock on his door whenever he wanted. One day, while lying in bed staring at the ceiling, David thought to himself, "I will start working on my goals tomorrow. I will write that book. I will begin that business. I will change my habits." But the same thought came to him every day, and every day ended the same way, empty and wasted. He was always waiting for the perfect moment, but the truth is, the perfect moment never arrives. Time passed like it always does. Days became weeks, weeks turned into months, and months into years. David was still in the same place, still dreaming, still making excuses. His friends moved ahead in life. Some became successful in their careers, some started families, and some built businesses. They used their time wisely, even when it was hard, even when they felt lazy. David, however, remained where he was, stuck in his comfort zone. One evening, David was sitting at a cafe when he overheard two old men talking. One of them said, "If only I had studied harder when I was young, I could have been a doctor." The other sighed and replied, "If only I had worked on my ideas earlier, I could have built a great company." Their faces were filled with regret, their voices heavy with sorrow. David felt a chill run down his spine. He realized that regret is the heaviest burden a person can carry, and once it arrives, it never leaves. That night, David couldn't sleep. His father's words echoed in his ears, "Time is the most precious treasure you will ever have." He realized that he had been throwing away his treasure every single day, and one day he too would sit with nothing but regrets if he didn't change. The next morning, David woke up earlier than usual. For the first time, he decided to take action. It wasn't easy. Laziness tried to pull him back, whispering in his ear, "Rest a little longer. You can always start tomorrow." But David resisted. He stood up, washed his face, and began his day with determination. He set small goals, reading a few pages of a book, writing down his ideas, exercising for 10 minutes. They were small steps, but they gave him a sense of progress. Days turned into weeks, and slowly David began to change. His energy grew, his confidence increased, and his vision became clearer. He realized that laziness is like a chain, it keeps you tied to the ground. But once you break it, you start to fly. He discovered that discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation might give you a push for a day, but discipline builds habits that last a lifetime. One day, David met a younger boy who reminded him of his past self. The boy said, "I'll study tomorrow. I'll work tomorrow. I'll change tomorrow." David looked at him and said, "Listen, tomorrow is a lie. If you want to succeed, you must begin today. Time won't wait for you, and laziness won't leave you unless you fight it. Don't waste your years waiting for the right moment, because the right moment is always now." The boy looked confused, but David knew that the truth had been planted. He wished someone had told him the same thing when he was younger, and even if they had, he wished he had listened. Years later, David became successful. He achieved many of his dreams, not because he found some secret formula, but because he learned to respect time. He understood that every hour is an opportunity, and every wasted day is gone forever. He often told others, "You will never regret working hard, but you will always regret wasting time." Laziness feels good in the moment, but it steals your future. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you delayed your goals? How many times have you said, "I'll do it later"? How many days have slipped away because of distractions, because of laziness, because of excuses? If you keep living like this, one day you'll wake up and realize that the best years of your life are gone. And unlike money, unlike material things, time can never be earned back. Great people in history were not different from us. The only difference was how they valued their time. They woke up early, they fought against laziness, and they worked consistently toward their dreams. They didn't wait for motivation, they built discipline. They didn't waste hours in useless things, they invested their time in growth. That is why they are remembered today. Laziness is a silent killer. It doesn't destroy your life in one day, it eats it away slowly, little by little, until nothing is left. It convinces you that you are safe, that you can always start later, but later never comes. The truth is, the future belongs to those who act today, not to those who wait. Imagine yourself standing at the end of your life, looking back. What will you see? A life filled with achievements, memories, and growth. Or a life filled with regrets, wasted opportunities, and broken dreams? The answer depends on how you choose to use your time right now. So, stop waiting, stop delaying, stop telling yourself that tomorrow will be better. Start today, start now, start small if you must, but begin. Even the smallest step forward is better than standing still. Build habits that beat laziness. Wake up earlier, plan your day, and take action. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes, and soon laziness will no longer control you. Life is short, and time is faster than we think. Every sunrise is a reminder that another day has been given to you, but also another day has been taken away. Use it wisely, respect it, value it, because one day, when your time runs out, you won't be able to buy another minute, not even with all the wealth in the world. David's story is not just his story, it is the story of millions of people who waste their lives waiting for the right time. But you don't have to be one of them. You can change your path right now. Choose action over excuses, discipline over laziness, and growth over comfort. Remember this, laziness is temporary pleasure, but its cost is permanent regret. Discipline is temporary struggle, but its reward is lifelong success. The choice is yours. Do not waste your precious time. Do not let laziness steal your future. Take control, and live a life that you will be proud to look back on. Because at the end of the day, time does not wait for anyone. Life is like a flowing river. It never stops, it never slows down, and it never turns back. Every moment that passes is gone forever, never to return. Some people realize this truth early and use their time wisely, while others let laziness control them and later regret all the years they wasted. This is the story of one such person, and perhaps, it might remind you of your own journey. There was a young man named Aaron. He had dreams that stretched beyond the stars. He wanted to be successful, to build something meaningful, to live a life filled with purpose. But there was one problem, he was lazy. He always postponed things. If he had to study, he would say, "I'll do it tomorrow." If he had to work on a project, he would say, "I'll start next week." If he had to wake up early, he would convince himself, 5 more minutes won't hurt." But those 5 minutes always turned into hours, and those hours turned into wasted days. Aaron's father often warned him, "Son, life doesn't wait for you. Time is not your servant, it is your master. Respect it before it's too late." But Aaron would laugh and respond, "Don't worry, Dad. I still have time, I'll start when the right moment comes." But the right moment never came. Days passed, weeks flew by, months melted away, and Aaron was still standing in the same place. His friends moved forward in life. Some started their careers, some built businesses, some chased their dreams with passion and consistency. But Aaron kept postponing. Laziness had wrapped around him like invisible chains, and he didn't even realize he was trapped. One evening, Aaron was sitting in his room, scrolling endlessly on his phone, when he saw an old picture of himself as a child. In that picture, he was smiling brightly, holding a notebook where he had once written, "One day, I will become a great leader." Looking at that picture, Aaron's heart sank. He realized that his younger self had so much energy, so much passion, and so many dreams, but now, years later, he had done nothing to honor those dreams. That night, Aaron had a strange dream. He saw himself as an old man, sitting alone in a dark room. The walls were filled with clocks, all ticking loudly. The old man was crying, whispering, "I wasted it, I wasted all my time." When Aaron asked the old man who he was, the old man replied, "I am you. This is who you will become if you don't change." Aaron woke up in shock, his heart racing. For the first time, he realized how serious the problem was. The next morning, Aaron decided to take the first step. It wasn't easy. Laziness tried to pull him back, whispering in his ear, "You're tired. Rest a little longer. Start tomorrow." But Aaron remembered the dream, and he forced himself out of bed. He started with small tasks. He cleaned his room. He wrote down his goals. He promised himself that every day, no matter how small, he would make progress. At first, the struggle was real. Every time he tried to work, distractions tempted him. Every time he tried to study, He felt sleepy. Every time he tried to plan, doubts filled his mind. But Aaron kept reminding himself, time never comes back. If I don't use it, I'll lose it. Slowly, his habits began to change. He started waking up earlier. He started exercising to gain energy. He replaced hours of scrolling with hours of learning. He began writing his ideas and working on them step by step. It wasn't a sudden transformation, it was a battle. But with each day, the chains of laziness grew weaker, and his willpower grew stronger. Months later, Aaron was no longer the same person. People who once thought of him as lazy now admired his discipline. He was more confident, more focused, and more determined. He realized something powerful, that discipline is not a punishment, but a gift. Laziness gives you temporary comfort but leaves you with permanent regret. Discipline gives you temporary struggle but rewards you with permanent success. One day, Aaron met a younger boy who reminded him of his past self. The boy said, "I'll work on my dreams tomorrow. I'll start when I feel ready." Aaron looked at him with a gentle smile and said, "I once thought the same. But let me tell you something, tomorrow is the biggest lie we tell ourselves. If you want to change your life, start now. Even if it's just a small step, do it today. Because time will not wait for you." The boy didn't fully understand, but the words stayed in his heart. And maybe, just maybe, those words would save him from the years of regret Aaron almost lived through. As Aaron's journey continued, he achieved many things. He started the business he always dreamed of. He wrote the book he had once postponed for years. He became a leader, just as his childhood self had imagined. But he knew the real victory was not in the success, it was in defeating laziness, in taking control of his time, in honoring the gift of life. Think about your own life right now. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many opportunities have slipped through your hands because laziness convinced you to wait? How many dreams have been left unfinished because you believed there was more time? The truth is, time is not unlimited. Every second you waste is a piece of your life that will never return. If you are waiting for the right moment, remember this, the right moment is now. If you are waiting for motivation, remember this, motivation is temporary, but discipline lasts forever. If you are waiting until you feel ready, remember this, you will never feel completely ready. You must start before you are ready, and the journey itself will prepare you. Great men and women in history were not born extraordinary. They became extraordinary because they respected time. They fought laziness, they worked when they didn't feel like it, and they built habits that carried them to greatness. If they had waited for the perfect time, we would have never heard their names. Your life is no different. You have dreams. You have potential. You have time right now. But the question is, how will you use it? Will you waste it in laziness, or will you invest it in growth? Will you let excuses control you, or will you take control of your future? Remember this forever, laziness may feel comfortable today, but one day, it will transform into regret that will haunt you for the rest of your life. On the other hand, discipline may feel difficult today, but one day, it will transform into success that will shine for the rest of your life. When you look back years from now, what will you see? A life filled with wasted chances and broken promises? Or a life filled with hard work, progress, and fulfilled dreams? The choice is in your hands, and the choice must be made today. So stop waiting, stop delaying, stop telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist, only today exists, only this moment is real. Value it, respect it, use it, because once it's gone, you can never get it back. Laziness is your greatest enemy, and time is your greatest treasure. Protect your treasure, defeat your enemy, build habits that will shape your destiny. And most importantly, never forget this, life never stops, and time never returns. Your dreams are waiting for you, but they won't wait forever. Get up, take action, live fully, make every second count, because success is not about luck, it's about how wisely you use the time you are given. And if you don't start now, then when?